He said integrity is when your values match your actions. And when they don't match and we refuse to own that, we don't gain authority. We actually lose it quietly, slowly. Welcome to Collective Guidance. I'm your host, Charla Goodnight. The conversation that we are having today is one that I have been having since the moment it happened in my own living room. Those of you who caught my recent episode with Morgan Rich, founder of Beyond and one of the most grounded, heart-led men I've had the pleasure of sitting with, you heard something come out of my mouth that I hadn't planned on sharing. I told him about a conversation I had with my son, a conversation that started because I went back to him and I apologized. What he said in return just made my heart melt. He said, "It's okay, or you're human. Thank you for the apology." You guys, my son, my 18-year-old son said that to me. So today, I want to slow all the way down and talk about that, about the apology, about accountability as a parent, about what happens when we stop performing and start being real with our kids, because I believe with everything in me that the apology is where the healing starts. So let's get into it. My son and I had a moment. I went into what I call beast mode. I lost my shit. And some of you know what I'm talking about. That place where your nervous system gets activated and you stop being curious and you start being reactive, where instead of asking questions, you come in hot like a flame and you're going to take their ass down. Instead of slowing down and saying, "Help me understand what's happening here," you assume you already do understand. And just so you know, I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. It's not the type of relationship that I want with my kids, and I'm not proud of doing it. But I did it. What I realized later when I got quiet and I came back to myself was that I hadn't been curious. I'd been controlling. I'd jumped to conclusions instead of asking questions. And the truth is my son deserved better than that. So a couple days later, after this deep reflection on how I can have a better relationship with him and not push him away, I went back to him. I said, "I really didn't show up for you the way that I should have. I should have been more curious. I should have asked more questions instead of immediately going into beast mode. And I apologize for that." He looked at me and said, "It's okay. You're human. Thank you for the apology." If I had responded defensively, if I had said, "Well, you deserved it," or tried to justify my reaction or just moved on and pretend it didn't happen, that moment would not have existed. That moment of genuine connection, of him meeting me in grace, of him showing me that he already knows how to forgive, how to hold space, how to be generous with people he loves, that would not have happened. Now, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you went back and repaired something with your kid? Not explained yourself, not defended yourself, just actually apologize. Because I think for a lot of us, myself included, we carry this belief that apologizing to our children somehow undermines our authority. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about why that belief is costing us everything with our kids. Let's talk about this story we've been told about parental authority. A lot of us were raised in households where parents didn't apologize. Maybe your mom never said sorry. Maybe your dad's way of making up after a blow up was to just come back and be calmer and act like it didn't happen. Maybe an apology was seen as weakness, as something that made you lose ground, lose respect, lose the upper hand, make you think that they aren't this strong, powerful person. And look, I get it. I was parented that way. The idea was if you admitted you were wrong, the kids will stop listening to you. They'll walk all over you. You have to be consistent. You have to be strong. Stand your ground always. But here's what I've learned through parenting these three boys who two of them are men now, and one of them is about to be a man. Morgan said something that hit me really hard in the episode with him. He talked about integrity. He said integrity is when your values match your actions. And when they don't match and we refuse to own that, we don't gain authority. We actually lose it quietly, slowly, until one day our kids stop coming to us with the real stuff because they've learned early on that we aren't safe to be honest with. Think about the adults in your own life that you trust the most. I bet they're not the ones who are always right. I know for me, they're not. They're the ones who own it when they're not right. So let's get rid of this myth and bust it wide open. Accountability doesn't undermine authority. It creates it. When your child watches you take responsibility, when they see you go back and say, I was wrong and I'm sorry, they learn something profound. They learn that making a mistake doesn't make you a bad person. They learn that love doesn't disappear when things get hard. They learn you can mess up and still repair. That is one of the most important things a human being can know how to do. Morgan talked about a moment in his own life where he lost his temper through something. I think he broke a window. His kids actually still bring it up, which there are times when I've done things that my kids still have brought that up. But he talks about what he did next, going back to them, being honest, saying it wasn't okay, saying I love you, I aim to do better. That's what they're really learning from. The repair is the lesson in all of it. What we model is what they absorb. Like I said, I have three boys. I think about the emotional landscape they're going to bring into their adult relationships, into their friendships, their partnerships, their own parenting someday. A big part of that is totally being shaped right now. It's being shaped in our house and how I show up and what I do when I mess up. If I model that mistakes get swept under the rug, they're going to learn to do that. If I model defensiveness, they're going to learn to defend. If I model the apology, the genuine, specific, I see what I did and I take responsibility for it, they learn that too. And they carry it with them. My son meeting me in grace in that moment, that didn't come from nowhere. Some of that grace had been modeled to him over time. And let me tell you, some of that was already in him. And some of it was being activated by me making it safe to respond that way. Our kids are watching for our humanity, not our perfection. Here's what I think that we get wrong as parents. We believe our job is to appear strong, calm, certain, and in control at all times. And when we fall short of that, when we snap, when we shut down, when we come in hot, we feel shame. And that shame makes us double down instead of open up. But here's the thing, our kids don't need us to be perfect. They need us to be real. They need to see that we are someone who keeps trying, who cares enough to come back, who values the relationship more than being right. That's the kind of parent that raises a kid who can say, it's okay. You're human at 18 years old. He gets it. He's going into his manhood knowing that when someone comes to them and takes accountability, he can look at them and say, I forgive you. You're human. You had a moment. It's okay. So you want to repair something with your kid, right? But how? Because I know for a lot of us, we were never taught how to apologize well. I was just talking to someone recently about how it's hard for us to apologize, right? We were taught to say sorry as quickly as possible so that the discomfort would go away, not to actually like take accountability for what we said or what we did or how we responded, and not to actually repair it, just to say we're sorry. So then people move on. So here's what I've learned. Here's what's worked for me. Number one, I don't apologize in the heat of the moment. But I realize that like apologizing in the heat of the moment, it's not a true apology unless I am connected to my soul self, unless I'm regulated. And most importantly, I think it's best to come back when you're regulated, when you're calmed down, your nervous system has settled, not in the middle of the hurricane. Because an apology in the middle of the storm, it can feel like manipulation, or worse, like you're just trying to end the conflict. Let things settle. Step away. Look at what you did, how you reacted. Become the observer of the circumstance, and then come back with intention. Number two, be really specific in your apology. Don't just say, I'm sorry. Tell them what you're sorry for. Name what you did. Name the impact. I told my son, I said, I should have been more curious. I should have asked more questions instead of going into beast mode. I apologize for the things that I said. They were not nice. Being specific matters. It tells your child that you actually saw what happened and you acknowledge the way that you were, and that you're not just doing this apology as a verbal formality. You actually see how you acted in the things that you said. Number three, don't make the apology about you. Don't make it about you. A real apology doesn't include, but you also, or I was stressed because. Keep it clean. Keep it about them. You can share the context of your behavior in another time, in another conversation. But the apology, it's for them. It's not for you to feel better. It's for them to feel seen. It's for them to feel seen. Number four, don't pressure them to respond a certain way. Look, I have given apologies before where the person did not accept the apology. That's okay. Your child may not be ready to say, I forgive you. You're human. They may need more time. And that's okay. You're not apologizing to get something back in return. You're apologizing because it's the right thing to do. And you acknowledge how your actions were not coming from love. They were coming from ego and fear and control and judgment. Let them take whatever time they need. The fact that you showed up and you said it is what matters. Number 5, follow it with actions, not just words. That episode with Morgan, he said this so beautifully. Integrity is when your values match your actions. The apology opens the door. What you do next determines whether the door stays open or not. If you apologize for not listening and then you keep not listening, the apology loses weight. But if you come back the next week and you pause before you react, even for a second, let me tell you, kids notice. People notice. They always notice. They're not looking for the bad in you. They notice. And I want to name something else here. This isn't just about the big blow-ups. This is about the small stuff too. The time where you were half present and they were trying to tell you something, the time you rolled your eyes or made a dismissive comment, the time where you made a joke about something that they really cared about, the time you were short because you were stressed and they happened to be in the way. I mean, look, I've done it and I go back. I have to take accountability. I shouldn't have treated you that way. I apologize. Those micro repairs matter just as much, maybe more, because they build a pattern. They build a culture inside of your home that says, in this family, we own our stuff. We own our shit. We come back. We don't just move on. We repair. We take ownership. I want to come back to my son's response because I think it's easy to hear it and think, oh, what a sweet kid. And let me tell you, he is. He really, really is. Oh my God, he is so kind and considerate and thoughtful. But I think it's also more than that. When a kid responds to a parental apology with grace, they're not just being nice. They're telling you that they already know how to hold love. They're telling you that they've been watching and absorbing. Somewhere inside of them is a capacity for compassion and complexity that maybe we haven't given them enough credit for. Like, we haven't even thought that, like, they have this. But when they come at us with that type of response, we have to acknowledge and see that in them. Morgan talked about the role of elders, how in the older traditions, the elders' job was to see the young people, to notice what was alive in them and name it, to say, I see this gift in you. After that conversation with my son, I went back to him again and I told him, hey, that part of you that could receive my apology and respond the way that you did, that's really something. That's a kind of wisdom and generosity that not everyone has. And I want you to know that I see that in you. And I hope that you continue to embrace that, because our kids need to know when they've done something beautiful, not just when they've done something wrong. They need to know when their soul is shining through. And the apology creates a ripple. It doesn't just repair the moment, it opens a window for us to see our children more clearly and for them to see themselves clearly through our eyes. I believe that is the holy work. That is the work of parenting at its deepest. I want to leave you with this. Look, you're going to mess up. I'm going to mess up. I am not a perfect person. We're going to lose our patience. We're going to say the wrong things. We're going to go into beast mode. We're going to miss the moment when our kids need us to slow down. And that's just true. It's the human experience. That's parenting. But the question isn't whether we will make mistakes. The question is, what will we do after we make mistakes? Do we sweep it under the rug? Do we justify it away? Do we make our kids feel like they're lucky that we showed up at all? Or do we just go back? Do you sit with the discomfort long enough to see what actually happened? And do we walk back into the room and say, hey, I see you. I see what I did. And I apologize for my actions. I should not have responded that way. I should have been more open. I should have listened. I should have been more curious, because I promise you that walk back into the room is one of the most powerful things we will do as a parent. It doesn't make us small. It makes us someone worth trusting, someone worth opening up to, someone worth calling when the world gets hard and they don't know what to do. If you got something that has been sitting on your chest, let this be a nudge. I want you to know it's never too late. It doesn't matter if it's been 2 hours, 2 days, 2 years, 10 years. It's never too late to take ownership for your part in how you treated someone, especially our kids. The door is still open. Go knock on it. Just knock on it. You're not apologizing for them to forgive you and have a response from them. You're apologizing because you love them and you realize the damage you have done and you care about them and you love them. Thank you so much for being here. If this episode meant something to you, please, please, please share it with another parent. Share it with someone who needs it, who needs to hear it. Leave a review if you feel called to it. And if this show, resonated in any way, hit the like button, subscribe. And I am so grateful for you being here, for doing the work. And if you missed my conversation with Morgan, I highly recommend going back and listening to that. He is one of the most heart-led, centered, grounded voices out there for men, for parents, for all of us who want to show up better. I'm Charla Goodnight. This is Collective Guidance. And to my son, thank you for the forgiveness. And thank you for seeing the soul that I am. And I am grateful for you guys being here with gratitude, love, and the ability to walk in the door and own your shit. Have a great day. Thank you.